G'day and welcome back to the Pillars of Rantonity. Last time round we convinced the Chikek to move on to greener pastures or, more energy-filled rocks, as the case may be. And now it's time to... we also chatted with a few people, Varanoth of the Wastes, for example. And this time we are going to finish talking to Imbitu, who gave us some clues about... the guy that was killed by the sorrow that we found out about in the marketplace a few episodes ago. And also, I think he should offer us the chance to be eaten, which obviously we're going to take. So, tell me about yourself. Oh, there isn't much to tell. I've spent most of my years in this little chapel, he says, with casting a fond look around. The dendro has rather consumed my life. I'll have to remember that one. Why did you join the Dendro? Well, that is a good question. A very good question. I congratulate you on asking it. He rubs his hands together with a papery sound. I cannot tell you much. Outsiders rarely understand what causes to the Dendro, but you have kind eyes, and so I will tell you it was kindness. Beyond that, however, I cannot answer. My apologies. I want to know more about it. And I'd love to tell you, he says, and it's clear he would, but the full answer is rather tangled in the mysteries of our order. I simply cannot indulge you. Again, my apologies. Let's talk about something else then. Fine. What? Tell me. Oh, on to more interesting topics. An old man's past, he says, flashing a stain grid. Lovely. Tell me about your cult. We worship the great queen Sar Lavun, Lady of Maggots, goddess of entropy, and guardian of the empty barrier, he says, then pauses, tapping a muddy tooth thoughtfully. Although worship's the wrong word, perhaps. He points to the altar nearby. It displays a skull with flat, unforgiving eyes buried in its hollow sockets. She waits on the other side of death with her billions of squirming children. They devour whatever passes into their realm, and rightfully so. Everyone must eat. His eyes twinkle fondly. But whatever she and her children eat is lost forever, so the Dendro her work to preserve the minds, the mysteries, the mortals, that before death claims them. We hold their shrill little thoughts in our minds and let them tumble around as they will. He shivers. It feels marvelous. I've got some questions about the Dendro her. Lovely, this may surprise you, but we rarely get curious visitors. Most people seem quite nervous about us. He wets his cracked lips and awaits your polite interest. What does your cult's name mean, anyway? Nobody knows, he says. He whispers, delighted. It's a mystery, isn't that wonderful? How long have they existed? Centuries! Although, how many I couldn't say. We aren't devoted to paper records, as you might imagine. We prefer keeping them in our heads. He runs his tongue along the edge of his rotting teeth. Also, this is slightly embarrassing, none of us managed to eat our founder. He simply disappeared one day. Can you imagine? So, who founded it? A man named Melmoth Leviam. Do wish one of us had managed to eat him. And how do you preserve humanity's knowledge? Oh, I thought everyone knew that, he says, surprised. We eat the flesh and organs of corpses to assimilate their minds. And then he trails off, noticing your expression. What? I was more interested in the process than your methods. Ah, fellow scholar. Well, it's quite simple and impossibly complex at the same time. He points to the various hoses and chambers adorning his robes. We don't, of course, chew on the corpses. That'd be quite messy, and lethal most likely. Humans are a diseased bunch. Our suits liquefy dead flesh and extracting the information contained within. When we feed upon this enriched flesh, it becomes part of us. At any rate, we scour the streets for bodies left unclaimed, and we bring them down here and lay them on the biers. His sweeping hand directs your attention to the still shrouded figures lying about the chamber. When a body is ripe with unplucked secrets, we gather about it and taste it together. Let a lifetime of thoughts flit around ours like a little fish. He smacks his lips happily. Interesting. Oh, it is, and dangerous, of course. It does drive us all slightly mad. He purses his lips like he's giving away a naughty secret. But it's worth it, even so. Let's talk about something else. Oh, very well. And I think we need to die for the other thing to happen.
All right.
And here's the one we want to look at. The strong aroma of charred flesh rises from the dingy cloth over this corpse. Lift the shroud.
My journal.
You carefully move the shroud to the side. There's no way around it. This dead man was a cast-off. It would be hard for him to be deader. His flesh is papery, desiccated. His tattoo, or rather the charred remains of it, has burned through his skin and into the bone beneath. Of course, there's a matter of his charred eye sockets and his horrified, gaping mouth. Parts of the corpse are missing, remnants of an aborted Dendra feast. You're surprised they stopped. Let's touch the tattoo. The last thing you remember before your fingertip grazes the tattoo is a rising buzz. Time stutters and breaks. Panting softly, you awaken, leaning against Beer for support. Your arm burns, your temples throb, and a white static claws at the corners of your vision. Someone was screaming in that lightless, timeless void. You remember that much. But it wasn't you, but none of the Dendra or her are looking your way. Examine the corpse again. Again, your eyes are drawn to the remnants of the cast-off's tattoo. It looks like it burst into flame when he died, burning right through his skin into the skull beneath. So it's just the same thing. Okay. So it was a cast-off that died. And these are just, corpses of various people. Whoops, that's the same one that we saw before. Okay. So I think I would need to actually die to get the option to have them eat me. That's inconvenient. Alright, well then I guess we'll go to the chirurgical parlor. Because, I mean, let's pursue that quest line.
Let's go.
I mean, how much XP do I need to go up another tier? A fair bit. I need another 120.
Let's go.
Which is like 4 quests of the kind that show up around here. I can do at least 1 or 2 in the pub. So I can head back there. But I also want to die for... Oh, wait. You. Maybe. Anyway, first, chirurgical. I've also got more money, which means more body modifications. Because that's right, I'm going to have every one of Jeannot's things embedded. Like a madman. You're back! Can I interest you in any of my vastly overpriced items and services? Show me your list. What are blood nanites again? Oh yeah, definitely. Let's take them. Things really do start calmly. The drones inject you several times and withdraw to a respectful distance. You breathe. The air seems tinged with the sunset's light. Then you feel the first bite. The machines swarm through you like a metal wave, nipping and tearing, devouring flesh, muscles, and organs. You open your mouth to scream and they pour out in a gleaming flood. Eventually, the machines learn that you are not food. At some point during the operation, you fell. Now you rise, panting. Don't you look healthy, Jeannot proclaims. Well, you are covered in your own blood, but you clearly have more. He rubs his hands together. Anything else? Yeah, let's have a look at these things. How much are the colored gauntlets? The hidden wrist blades. 125 shins and they're yours. I'll take them. The drone swoops down and pulls your arms to the sides. With an unapologetic speed, they shove steel tubes into space between your knuckles, one by one. Finally, they release you. Wincing through the pain, you flick your wrist as instructed. Long, stylish blades leap through your mangled but already healing knuckles. They look amazing. Those look amazing. You looking for anything else? Show me your list of items and services again. Certainly, he says. Beaming the whole list, not commenting that we've already got all of them. Then remind me how you came to own this parlor again. All horrific deaths testing the drones. Fine. So I got an achievement, by the way, clanking when you walk, which I assume is you got all of the things. I'm honestly surprised that I could possibly get all of the things here. But apparently I totally could and did. So unarmed attacks do extra damage, and jagged memory is more melee attacks. This we're immune to most DPS or DPR, I guess technically, effects. And yeah, cool. I mean, this all is fine. I'm happy with all of it. Encroaching darkness lets us heal once a day. I probably should let myself die at some point, though.
In this world, then.
Piquo, can I talk to you? No. Apparently not. Never mind.
Yes, now.
The salty air only partially mutes the cloud of putrid sweetness clinging to the jumbling of fallen wood and stone and iron. Until recently it was someone's home, but the unstable ground must have caused it to collapse. Search the rubble for clues. You shift aside broken pieces of furniture and small pieces of rubble, but you find nothing of value. After a short while you realize what's happened. Someone has already picked through the ruins and taken the more accessible valuables. You stand back, concentrating. Nothing about the pile of stone is familiar, but the view from whence a door once stood, a boundless horizon falling into the sea, is.
Remember that.
This appears to be the house where the cast-off once lived. But either he left no clues of his identity, or they were taken by scavengers. It might be useful to look around this area and see if anyone spotted anything. Looting this house. Let's study the horizon. So we've only got one intellect. No, we've got 2 intellect left. But we've also, let's stick with a 75% chance. Okay. Oh, critical success. So we got nothing from that critical success, but fine. Yep. That just means we succeeded by 10 or more. Fingers of wind rake at your face. You squint into the sunlight, trying to remember. You've stood here before. You know you have. Letting your thoughts untangle. The skyline tilts and you stagger as the memory engulfs you. You grip the edge of the crude banister, grimacing at the sea. The calm of the scene no longer touches you as it once did. Nor, you realize, does this body. You smile at your own impatience. Your restlessness must rival the ocean itself.
Remember that.
A gust of salty air bears away the memory in ribbons, leaving your mind aching and dry atop the ruins of the house. There's little doubt now. The changing god and the cast-off killed by the sorrow once lived here. Let's search the rubble for anything of interest. Nope. And then might. Eritus, you might as well make yourself useful. Oh, he's even got 1 might edge, so yeah, go for it. Eritus, move them rocks. The smell intensifies as you heave aside a slab of ceiling. A swarm of startled insects spins away into the sky, revealing the body of a young woman. Torn and crushed, an invisible hand rips the air from your chest and the strength from your legs. You fall, feeling a presence close around you, a heat on your back. Who's there? The words are a whisper. You can barely breathe now, and the heat feels you like a fever. Suddenly, a cool hand covers your burning eyes. A smooth arm folds over your stomach. And just like that, the heat is gone. You whirl around. No one is there, but you sense something has changed in the labyrinth. A new reflection is forming in the labyrinth. And that's it. So as I said, I actually want to get killed.
I'm going.
But I can't initiate a combat. But what if I talk to Aiden and see what happens if we fail with him? Or I could go talk to Lost of Self. The heavily muscled man hasn't stopped punching and kicking the air yet. Maybe he never will. You've returned, he says, his eyes locked on the invisible enemy before you. I bet I'm faster than you. You're not the first to think so, he says, casually snapping an assailant's neck. I should warn you that all the others are dead. It's not a threat. I only fight to the death. He flings the invisible corpse aside. Before I accept your challenge, I'll need to see if you're good enough to fight me. His fist lashes towards you. Duralisk kiss. A slow punch at first. Some challenges are braggarts. They don't deserve death. Initiative and quick fingers. Block this punch and strike back. And we've got neither of those. We've just got the direct approach. Let's give it a go. And we fail. Failure. You stagger back under the speed of the attack. His next punch halts an inch from your throat. A good effort. No, but not good enough. But good. Right. So we can basically retry at a cost of effort. But we fuck it up. Not good enough. Not good enough. And now we're out. Okay. Which is a pity, because I literally want to get killed. Okay. So, we've got another way of getting ourselves killed. It's actually a pretty simple way, really. So you go in here. And then we go up to the ghost. And we say, hey, ghosty. No, the ghost is not here anymore. Curses. Failed.
I'm always ready.
For a moment, you're not entirely sure if you look upon a construct or a human. The plastic sheen of this pale man's skin suggests artificiality. But if it's a construct, it's so cunningly constructed, so close to human baseline, the illusion is nearly perfect. Except his head is a trifle too large, his eyes black buttons. Then you realize the truth. He's a visitant, his home many million miles from home. Almus, my name. How did you get here? He looks around. Not my time, not my place. Yet, when the connection to home broke, a beacon shone. Here, 5 minds through me, a light in the darkness. They were not a light to understand. They were safety, surety, while a new home I find. In this place I have clear thought, untarnished. What can you tell me of yourself? I am Almus, a keeper of souls, last of my kind, only survivor of a civilization that spanned time and space. Now they are gone, their stars black. Reality's winds carry me. He turns his head back towards his drink. Oof, yeah, okay, I could understand why you drink with that. Almus says, the highest caste of power, controlled we minds of ideas for all souls of empire. And a great web we wove, shining with power, but other nodes, they winked away. Only I remain. An image of my people I carry, but no place to make it real. Our domain lost. I alone am paralyzed with fear and indecision. Did I destroy them? I was not disconnected, or was I? And how did your civilization die? A doubt arose. It took seed, took flight. These thoughts connected to our network. These questions spread like disease. Trust, mistrust, rooted. Nodes decohered. Without nodes, without control of dreams, the civilization falls. And then they are gone. I alone remain. What was the doubt that destroyed your civilization? I do not know. I do not recall. Yet something in his stance suggests otherwise. Also, his thoughts are literally, I know, I recall. Tell me the doubt that destroyed your civilization. I know you know. I do. Yes, it was my doubt. Mine. My question. I asked only, what if our way is not best? What if our people have desires of their own, wants that we do not give? He places a single hand across his eyes and slowly slides it away. The others began to see and question. Questions gave way to self-doubt. Self-doubt gave way to self-hate. I wanted to know, only to know what is best. How do we become better? Not tear us down, but shone a bright light on behavior, on truth. But our center could not hold under truth. His wet, terrified eyes fixed on yours. Was I to blame? If civilization's end are fixed on me, in my dreams I see their faces, but not their minds. Tell me true, is the fault mine? Are you sure they are gone? What if they saw your doubt and just cut you away? Cast you aside. Horror dawns on his face. Is this why I cannot feel him? Why I retain only an image? He closes his eyes and concentrates hard. Around the bar, other patrons wince and cover their ears with their hands. You feel the brushing of a great and terrifying howl of anguish. He whispers, I am alone. I feel an echo, but no true response, as if they hide. He pulls his hands apart, and you have the sense of a vast network of power contained between them. He raises his hands before his face, and then he crumples his fist. The energy vanishes. I have severed the last connection, the last hope. If they exist still, they must exist without me. Let me be forgotten. No more, he whispers. No more. He drops his head and weeps. Oof, I feel a bit guilty about that. Yeah, can't just have someone attack me and kill me.
All right.
That's fair enough.
Yes, child.
It's kind of silly that I actually want to die in this instance.
Here comes the boredom slayer.
But that happens. Alrighty, let's have a chat with Zig. The most distinguishing feature of this tall, vaguely awkward man is the yellow shirt he wears. He seems desperate to fade into the scenery. When he sees you notice him, he gives you a faint, uncomfortable grin. Something about him seems off, as if you're a flicker in the air, or strangely two-dimensional. He doesn't seem to emit a sense of presence at all. Who are you? Aaron, call Zig. I'm not here. Why can't I sense you? Skist, he mutters. The yellow shirt fades away, and skin and muscle and bone, and then all that remains is a vaguely humanoid shimmer. I'm Izg, Aaron, a transdimensional projection from a distant past. This abacus form. This is not the truth of me, trapped in this body. But I'm not this. What's an abacus? A ghost, transdimensional. It feeds. I only watch and learn. Where are you from? Distant past, epochs ago, tuning through time to see future, overshot. Maybe next visit. Can you affect this reality? Only words. Your ghostly hand passes through. Nothing touches. Only ideas. No physical energy conveyed. How did you get to this place in particular? When casting through time, saw light. Drawn to civilized thought. Admiring psychics. Okay. Just in time, unsure. What's an abacus? It's a feeder, a hunter, not of this world, not of this time. Farewell.
Go.
Okie dokie. So, I mean, I need to do stuff around here, but I don't think I got cash to do everything I want to do. I was really hoping to just get killed. But unfortunately, it turns out that is harder than it sounds. Genuinely harder than it sounds. So what can I do about this? I need to talk to you about loss of self. Mother Tamaz? Where can I find her again? Nope. Never mind. That's unhelpful. Really kind of annoyed that I just don't have enough damage to die. How can I do this?
Here I go.
Okay. What do we got? Let's see. If I go to the underbelly, I think we can get somewhere from Stitcher. It depends on whether or not we can get to Makina's, not Makina's lair, the place, the Changing God Sanctuary.
Why did you split yourself anyway?
Egg friend. Stitcher moved to new home. It's a good place. Chikek gone soon. Human want to travel before Chikek leave is free for good human. You did go into the city, right? So can you take me someplace? Can you bring me to the ledge in Cliff's Edge? Yes, glad to transport friend of people is free. So I've never been here. I've never seen that option. I guess you can only travel to places you literally looked at and interacted with, or had come up in a conversation.
Yes.
A faint droning sound resolves into a rhythmic churning hum as you approach this strange machine. Examine the device. An ovoid opening lined with a metallic wire mesh dominates the front of this device. Through it you catch the faintest glimpse of swirling liquid. Atop the machine rests a dome of translucent material and a brilliantly lit sphere. Let's have a look at the mesh. Mesh appears to prohibit direct contact with the fluid jostling around the device's interior. Curiosity must have gotten the better of someone, however, as the line has been sliced cleanly through the bottom of the mesh. The opening created by the slash appears roughly large enough for an arm to reach through it. The dome? On closer inspection, you notice the dome contains what appears to be a human brain, but several times larger than a normal brain. It floats serenely within the enclosure, pulsing occasionally, but you can find no way to interact with it. And the sphere? The glowing sphere appears solidly attached to the rest of the machine. The light dims as you move your hands close to it. You spend a few moments moving your hands all around the sphere and eventually discover its light seems to dim as your hand gets close to a point directly in front of it. Let's leave it alone for the moment and first grab whatever's here. Got a quick ice axe. Ooh, that looks pretty nice. And some shins. That's great. So let's pass our hand in front of the sphere. The sphere's light dims and brightens again as your hand completes the motion. From within the machine you hear the strangled sound of evacuating liquid. The constant humming sound of the machine has stopped. Now let's reach through the opening. Your hand meets nothing but air. The sides of the tank are still slick with whatever fluid previously filled it. Let's pass our hand in front of the sphere again. Nothing. Let's tap the dome. You knock lightly on the dome, triggering a minor convulsion from the brain within. A swooshing sound erupts from the interior of the device, and it resumes its former rhythmic hum. Let's reach through the opening again. Your hand splashes into the oily fluid as you plunge in through the hole in the mesh. As you probe around the interior, you momentarily feel something solid brush against your hand. You blindly grope for the object, but it proves quite hard to grab. Let's attempt to grab it. Or rather, let's have Eritis attempt to grab it. Rin has quick fingers, which means that she's got a high base chance. But Eritis can just apply more effort. And he's also got, no, he doesn't have an edge. Let's give it a go. Yes, Eritis, good job. After a few near misses, you manage to get a firm grip on the object and remove it from the machine. So the Ring of El Amor cancels the next negative fatal applied, excluding flanked and lasting damage, and deals 5 damage to the attacker. Okay, not bad. Reach through the opening again. Nothing there. Tap the dome again. Nothing happens. Hand in front of the sphere. Same flushing sound, and then just leave it. Alright, so we've made a change in the area, which is probably relevant somehow. Alrighty, so then the next step will be to go to the Changing God Sanctuary, which is underneath the city. So we talk to Chikekt, same deal, and say, hey, can you take us somewhere else? So you move deeper underground, can you take me where you used to live? It's like, it's empty now, no stitcher, no eggs. Regards you carefully as if trying to discern your purpose. Then you catch a scent like fresh air sweeping through a tunnel. The equivalent, perhaps, of a dismissive shrug. We'll take egg ring. No need to pay. There's a lot more cash just lying around the city than I expected. Which is useful. So here we are. Emerging from within the freshly dug tunnel, you find yourself in a small chamber with veins of refined metal glimmering on the walls. Chikekt turns to face you. Place beyond was egg rooms, hatching chambers. Future Stitcher moved far away. Sanctuary on other side of Knot Nest. So the sanctuary we didn't tell him that we wanted to go to, but we wanted to go to. He tells us about. Nice. Warm sinews of light lace the walls, spiraling into the base of a hollow statue. It gleams in the same color as the glowing strands. Faint scratches along the base about the size of a stitch's claw suggest they hit the statue while tunneling and could not extract it. Round tubes with apertures of varying sizes connect to a central drum. A soft breeze from the newly dug burrow behind you hums over the openings. The gnarled metallic veins running through the rocky walls deaden the noise from the device. It's unlikely to be heard outside this room. So, let us reach inside the nearest opening. Hey, we got some fleet boot moss. Just inside the tube, you feel a piece of loose material that pulls free with a light tug. Whatever technology the statue represents has been worn away by digging in time, but the fragments may still be useful. Yes, we've got speed heal. Let us blow into one of the apertures. You get buffeting air, glowing. Your stomach flips as a wave of vibrating air buffets you for a fraction of a second. Golden light flows up from the seams of the statue, forming a looping pattern in the center of the drum. As the rumbling continues, energy coruscates along the veins of the rock, running into the device. So we can, after a moment, the sound goes away and dies, but the wispy tracings of the pattern continue to glow on the surface. It's approximately the size of a human hand, and the shape's more like a dozen tentacles. Now we place our hand. The same sound you heard before rattles your gut. It sputters and remains on, the acoustics having deteriorated over the millennia. Though the sound is intermittent, there's something fascinating about the way it forces you to pay attention. You easily tear your focus away, but the effect may be stronger if the statue is fully intact, especially on a creature with non-human psychology. Celestige raises an eyebrow. Fascinating. Seems to have a psychic effect. This one is broken and doesn't seem tuned for humans, but a less dilapidated device might have quite the pull on another creature. Okay, and then yeah, here is, as was mentioned, the egg chamber and everything. So this whole area is kind of just part of a quest line, and there's no real point in worrying about most of this, although hey, that's kind of neat. We can get odd gloves from here. We should grab the loot where we can. So this would be an extended fight or sneak sequence, depending on what you were after. We were never going to be trying to steal from them, so it would have been probably, I guess, an extended sneak sequence if we had to. But we didn't, so why bother?
Of course.
Sure.
Now I can grab stuff from here.
No, don't cry. I am
Rude's ears, nice. When you set this,
This is disbelief.
when you set this set,
hear such venom from one so young, dear.
oh shush, both of you right now.
Like you.
When you insert this set of plugs into your ears, you can suddenly hear through the ears of another being. Pulling out the earplugs and reinserting them in your ears links you to a different individual. Overhead speech seems to be completely incomprehensible and alien each time, so the target individuals are probably distant in space, or time, or both. But hey, 250, I mean, I'll take it.
In an instant.
Okay, I have a crazy idea. So I'm just going to quick save.
I can't die.
Look out below!
Okay, so you're kind of forced to enter with the whole party, which is silly.
Faltering. I'm hurt.
Okay, so I do this, and then I do this. Wow, this is a silly way of killing myself. But,
Hurt.
on the other hand, can you guys stop walking into the acid? This is my job. I'll die, and then next time we will continue. Until then, have a great day. Bye. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you spending the time and effort watching the videos I make. If you'd like to watch more, on the left there should be another video from this playlist. On the right there will be whatever YouTube recommends, and in the center there is a convenient subscribe button just in case you need it.